What's up everyone, I'm back with another video, and in this video I want to express my thoughts and reaction to Damien Leone's newest film, Terrifier 2, so stay tuned. Welcome back to the Captain Horror Collection channel. If you've never been here before, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Hangman, aka Captain Horror, and in today's video I want to talk Terrifier 2. I managed to catch it a week after its release. Apparently, I think it only had a week in theaters, if I'm not mistaken, and since it was doing so well, they extended it for another week. Which is amazing. I'm so happy for that because I was not able to see it the first weekend or during the other week. So I'm glad they put that extension on the film to be in theaters. So happy I caught this in the theaters. This movie is so insane. My first reaction to it would be amazing. I loved it. But it's not without its issues. I definitely have problems with this. I want to warn everyone right now, this is a spoiler review. So if you have not seen the film yet, don't watch this video. Please don't watch this video. I don't want to spoil this for anyone who has not seen it. That being said, I hope you're ready. We're going to get into it right now. Terrifier 2 is a 2022 independent horror film directed by Damien Leone and starring David Howard Thornton, Lauren Rivera, and Elliot Fulham. After being resurrected by a sinister entity, Art the Clown returns to the timid town of Miles County where he targets a teenage girl and her younger brother on Halloween night. Okay, let me start by saying this. So when I first saw the first Terrifier, back in 2018, I watched it on Netflix. I was not a fan of this film. Now, I did not give it the attention that it deserved to make that decision, but I don't know what it was about the film that didn't click with me, which is really odd because now I love it. I guess I just needed to give it a second viewing. That viewing wouldn't come until just a couple weeks ago. I decided to give this another watch, the first Terrifier. I happened to see that it was on Prime Video, streaming with ads. Sat down, I watched the whole thing. And I really enjoyed the atmosphere of the film. What attracted me the most was David Howard Thornton's portrayal of Art the Clown. I think he does a fantastic job. He definitely just brings that character to life, and he has zero lines in the film. The whole performance is done like a mime, and he is a professional mime, the actor. So he brought that to this character. His facial expressions are amazing, and of course the makeup is fantastic. I love the design of Art the Clown. It just works so well, man, and the way the teeth look all black and bloody and gritty and fucked up, it's such a good looking character. Extremely creepy, very effective. I really love the film, and I loved the character of Art the Clown, so I was so stoked to finally go and see Terrifier 2. Let me just say, it blew me away big time. This movie is definitely bigger on every level. When it comes to the acting, when it comes to the setting, when it comes to the plot, the budget is obviously higher. The practical effects are phenomenal. They are phenomenal. Some of the best I've ever seen. And it's really awesome to see that, at a time where most horror movies, rely a lot on CG effects. I'm really not a fan of it. I'm fine with it being utilized, but only, sparingly, here and there, little bits, especially if it's like a horror film. But many horror films, modern horror films, really rely on that, and I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of the CG, and just modern horror films in general don't click with me. Many of them are just not for me. I'm all about classic horror. So that's why this movie really calls to me, because it has that old school 80s slasher horror feel. Let's get into the plot of this film. The plot of this film, like I said, he's resurrected by a sinister entity. It's never explained what that is. We follow him out of the morgue. I guess it picks up right after when he kills himself in part 1. He kills the coroner there, ends up getting away. He's now walking the streets with his garbage bag again, and he walks into a laundromat so that way he can wash his clothes, which I found so fucking hilarious. That he's gonna go and wash all the blood off his clothes, his clown suit, and he literally grabs a newspaper, sits down, starts reading it, and that part is so fucking hilarious. And it's in this scene that we are introduced to a brand new character, and that character is the little pale girl, played by Amelie McLean. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Amelie or Amelie? I believe it's Amelie McLean.
Annual.
This character is creepy as fuck. I love this new character. I think she was great. She doesn't speak either, just like Art doesn't speak. She looks very similar to Art. Now we're introduced after that to Sienna. Sienna is the main protagonist in the film, and her little brother Jonathan. It is explained at some point that Art has a connection to Sienna, and only through her father's drawings. Her father, who at this point is dead. You don't find out how he died until later in the film, but he was apparently drawing pictures of Art and the victims from part 1 in this sketchbook, which leads the son Jonathan to believe that, he saw this coming somehow. So there was some premonition going on with Sienna's dad. As the film progresses, you see that Sienna is going to be a character who's going to battle Art and be his enemy, his nemesis, so to speak. And she does a great job. I think Lauren Levera does a great job in this film. I loved her acting. They made a great decision with Lauren Levera. I loved her performance. I don't feel the same about Elliot Fulham's performance as Jonathan, the younger brother. His performance left a little to be desired, and he's in a lot of the film. I'm not saying he did a bad job, but I almost feel like they should have chosen someone else. I didn't really enjoy his performance as much as I enjoyed Lauren's performance. David Howard Thornton does a great job as Art once again. He blows me away with his performance with this character, and this is the main thing that's drawing me to this film, or these films, is Art the Clown, and how David Howard Thornton brings him to life. It's fantastic, man. I just love it. Blows me away that Damien Leone himself was the one who created the special effects makeup for this film with, I believe one of the producers was his assistant, Phil Falcone, or Phil Falcone. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But he was his assistant in the special effects makeup, but Damien Leone is basically the one who created it all and executed it all, and it's amazing. He is so talented with this. It's phenomenal. Some of the best I've ever seen in any horror film. He also edited the film and wrote the film. So he has a lot of credits on this film. This is his baby, and I think he did very well with everything, but the story is I feel it's a little convoluted. This film is also about 2.5 hours long. That's pretty fucking long for a horror movie, for a horror slasher. I'm very surprised that the movie is that long, but I didn't feel like it was dragging, only up until the last act. So the rest of the film I feel is paced pretty well. I was really into it. I didn't feel bored at any point. Let's get to the kills, man. The kills are so fucking good. Very, very graphic, very brutal, extremely gruesome. There's been reports about people fainting, people vomiting watching this film. I'm not exactly sure if that's all true. I mean, the violence is almost comical. Like, it's so over the top. It's almost like watching Itchy and Scratchy kind of skit, like that sort of level of violence. But that's not a complaint at all. I loved it. It was amazing. It was so fun, and just like, holy shit, they're going far with this kill. Like, overkill, serious overkill, but not in a bad way. At least not for me. I enjoyed every fucking kill. They were so creative. They were so detailed and gruesome, and it really is some of my favorite practical effects I've ever seen in any horror film. My main problem with this film is with the last act. I feel it drags on a little bit too long. The set pieces are fantastic in this movie. Definitely way better and upped, from the first film. The first film is sort of just one setting in this industrial type building, and this one is just different settings, and they do it really well. You could tell the budget was higher here. I believe it was $250,000 if I'm not mistaken, and right now it's sitting at about 2.3 million in the box office, and it's going up against some heavy hitters, man. Going up against Halloween Ends and Smile, and it's holding its own. My problems with this film is, in the end, I feel like the last act just drags a little bit too much. It definitely left me with a lot more questions than answers. I was hoping to get answers. I really want to know, what is the backstory to Art? Why is he killing? Also, what is the connection between Sienna's dad and Art? You know, now there's those questions. And what are they going to do for part 3? Because at the end of this film, Art is seemingly killed once again. And the ending, after the credits, there's a scene that's completely bananas. I won't talk about that scene. There's enough spoilers in this video, but that scene just really just threw a huge, just crushed me with a giant question mark. It's almost like the very last scene in Pieces, where it's like, how the fuck is that happening? It just doesn't make sense, but there it is. It happened. You know what I mean? So, and it kind of is just like, what the fuck? Two totally different scenes, but I think the feel is sort of similar. Overall, watching this film, I really enjoyed Terrifier 2. It's a long movie. It should have been shorter. It should have been a tad shorter. I think 20 minutes could have been shaved off. I was excited to see that the movie was that long before I went to watch it, but then I realized that it's kind of too long and it could be shorter. So I think it hurts from that last act. The questions that I had from part 1 were not really answered, and I just walked out of there with a shitload more questions that need answers. But I'm excited as hell for the next sequel. I guarantee there's going to be a Terrifier 3. There has to be a Terrifier 3. Art will somehow come back to life, and we will have the pleasure of watching him completely fucking eviscerate people, young and old, no matter who. No one is, safe from this fucking clown. And I'm very happy that he exists. So this is the beginning of a new horror icon, for sure. Art is here to stay, and that's very obvious. My final rating of this film, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. I really thoroughly enjoyed this film. I thought it was so fun. I had a great time watching it. The day after, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I wanted to see it again. I wanted to go right to the movies to see it again, but I didn't have the time to do so. But yeah, 4 out of 5. This is a great movie. It's a true sort of love letter to fans of classic 80s slashers. It's one of the best slashers I think that has ever been made. Damien Leone has done a great job in creating this character and giving him a world for him to wreak havoc in. So that's all I got for today. If you like what you saw here, please don't forget to give me a like, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any videos that I post. This is like my first review. I don't know. I'm stumbling through this fucking video. I hope that it didn't come off like I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I'm just trying to give you my honest opinion and what I thought worked and didn't work in this film. So what do I have next coming up? I got a few videos planned. Want to do the Scream Factory collection video, show you all my Scream Factory titles. Definitely have to do the new pickups video. I really need to get that done. Things keep coming in and they're just piling up, and I want to show them off already. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate your time. Take care.